Hi, this is Mrs. Knopf, and today we are going to continue in Book 2 on the trumpet with line 57, Jolly Old St. Nicholas. And as always, I like to point out one of my favorite things about this book is on every page or two, there is a fingering chart at the top of the page with just the notes that you will be using on those pages. So you can always refer back to what your notes are and the fingerings. So we're going to go ahead and get started. We always start with our treble clef, and there's nothing in the key signature, so everything is natural. Then we are in 2/4 time. So we have 2 beats per measure. That's the top number. The bottom number is the value of the whole note if we had one. So if the whole note gets 4 beats, then half of 4 is 2, which means the half note gets 2 beats. And then half of a half note is a quarter, half of 2 is 1, so your quarter notes get 1 beat. Finally, half of a quarter is an eighth, and half of 1 is 1/2, so not 0. And we don't have any single eighth notes, they're all in pairs. So it takes 2 of them to equal 1 beat. So the first one is always on the downbeat. The second one is always on the upbeat. So you would count 1 and 2 and. Okay, so now we're going to go through and we're going to look for patterns with our notes and rhythms. So at the beginning, we start with an A, and we have 4 eighth note A's. Then in the next measure, we have 3 G's, 2 eighths and a quarter. Next measure, we have 4 eighth note F's. And then the next measure, we go back up to an A on a half note. And that is going to sound like this. Ready, and. So if you look at the next line, it's exactly the same thing. So we just learned half the song. Let's go to measure 5. So here we have 4 eighth note D's. In the next measure, we have 2 eighth note C's to a quarter note F. In the next measure, we are changing on every single eighth note. So we have E, F, G, A, and then we end that line on a half note G. So measures 5 through 8 will sound like this. Ready, and. Now, if we look down at the second line, halfway through, it's similar, but it's not the exact same pattern, so it's a variation. So in the second line, fifth measure, we again have 4 eighth note D's, but then in the next measure, we only have 1 C on an eighth note, and then 2 F's, eighth note and quarter. Then we have 4 eighth notes in the next measure, G, F, G, A, and we end on a half note F. So the second line, last 4 measures will sound like this. Ready, and. So when we put it all together, we start at the beginning, we play all the way through the first line, immediately go to the second line, and then we finish. I have a metronome set at 84 beats per minute, so it's a little faster than what I just played. Bum, 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 bum. So it's going to be a bit faster. If you're able to play along, that would be great. Otherwise, just follow along, finger, and then you can always go back and practice it without me, and then maybe another time you can practice with me. Here we go. Beginning, line 57. 1, 2, ready. And that's it for line 57 on the trumpet. I hope this was helpful, and we'll see you next time.